Well, as you just said, mate, what a way to start the day.
Yeah, it's the Red Eye Pod.
We were so excited we just needed to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I could barely sleep last night just thinking about the wake up that I had.
The speed maps. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I was dreaming of horses peeling out the outside and kicking home down the straight.
Mate, it was all happening. But yeah, mate, Caufield Cup and Everest Day, gee, really comes up quick.
Comes up quick. We've been talking about the Everest for what feels like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, the hype is real. The hype is real, punters, and I'm that keen.
Horbury on her last slot holder, and then
unexpected.
And then Farnan, who not really surprised he went out because he's a bit lame, and then dollar for dollar got that slot, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, same here, mate. I thought there was a couple other things that would have gotten ahead of them, but
yeah. Cool.
It's an open race.
It really is. But all right, mate, let's get stuck in now. So, as we always do, horses that caught our eye, kick us off.
Start off with Emeralds. Won race 8 in Randwick on Saturday. Got the bob on Graceful Glamour. Graceful Glamour looked home there for all money, but Emeralds had a really nice run on the inside lane and just about the only horse that won from the inside, I think, on Saturday in Randwick. Trainer Johnny Sargent said they'll go down to Melbourne for one, so maybe the Empire Rose.
Okay.
So interesting to watch, and I think that filly / mare is starting to sort of reach her potential.
Yeah, no, that can't talk you out of that, mate. I had Bottega as one, so he was kept at the 1400. I can't even remember who he ran third to, but he's always going to be suited out to further. I think his target is the Golden Eagle, which I still think's a bit too short for him, but he could be one for the autumn for mine. I think he could feature in some really nice mile races and even up to 1800 2000. So yeah, he's one of my boys. I like him.
Yeah, you do like Bottega.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty obvious one here, but Wild Ruler was really good in race 2 in Randwick. Coolmore, I would say.
Gee, that race is starting to firm up nicely.
Yeah, it really is.
September run, Wild Ruler, Doubtland.
Swats that.
Farnan is now going there. Anders is going there, who the bubble popped on him yesterday.
It didn't adjust.
That is the best 3-horse race I've ever seen.
I didn't see it live, so once you texted that through, I was like, oh, I'll have to go watch the replay, and
it was a cracker.
It was a cracker 3-horse race.
I think Ranting's going there too. So
yeah. Geez, September run's proven on the straight, but Wild Ruler, boys against girls.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a cracker. It's always one of my favourite races of the year. He should be very competitive there. I had Dawn Passage. So again, he's going to the Golden Eagle as well. So he looks nice for that, I reckon. So he was favourite for the Stradbroke, and as a 3-year-old. So he should line up quite nicely there, but now the WA Gallopers are going to the Golden Eagle as well, and Superstorm and Windstorm. So that just throws another cat into the pigeons. So it would be interesting to see how he goes.
Speaking of Windstorm, obviously it was great on the weekend, but the horse that ran second to it, Face-Toss, in race 3 down in Melbourne, stayed with Windstorm the whole time. And Face-Toss was first up there, I believe.
Yep.
So he should be in for a good prep.
Yeah. No, can't talk you out of this. This is a little self-pump up for me.
Don't you know? Pump it up.
Lions Roar.
I knew that'd come up somewhere.
Oh, my God.
How's that?
I was, bit of an omen bet, but I still didn't mind him. But he God, he looks a nice progressive stayer, which is exactly what we're lacking in Australia. So that middle distance range, 2,000 to 2,400, he might even reach out to 3,200. You never know, but he's one for mine that can really challenge in those middle distance races over 2,000 and further in the autumn. So
yeah,
definitely going to look at him.
And didn't Montefilia prove that she's a cracking filly?
Yeah, well, we looked at this at the pub on Saturday. She only started racing in March.
Yeah.
So that record that we were talking about Russian Camelot,
quickest to 3 Group 1s.
She'll do it. She'll blow them out of the water if she wins the Oaks, which she's confirmed with going to now. So she's the horse to beat. She'll be a short quote when she starts.
Yeah, she sure will.
Yeah, can't wait to see her. Alrighty, mate. Any others?
No, mate. That's all I had down. But yeah, that's a great shout with Lions Raw. And that was a funny race. With you screaming out Lions Raw. I think you were the only person on it in the pub. It was paying 20s,
mate.
And then my thing was paying 20s that ran third. So
yeah. So and unfortunately, he got the 6-pack for me too.
yeah. Oh look, I don't mind that.
Stiff when your roughie of the day runs third, and you still lose the 6-pack.
Yeah, we had a cracking day actually. The Polo Punt Club on Saturday. So
yeah, we did. If both the roughies won, both mine ran second, so it would have been an absolute fill up. But you get that.
You get that on the big jobs.
You really do. Alrighty, mate. Let's go on to our Polo Recipients segment. Who's your top tier this week?
Mate, my top tier is the hype surrounding the Everest. It's great to see the entire racing community get around it. But even more so, it's one of those races where the general public will probably watch it and have a dig. Not many races can do that in Australia. Caufield Cup's probably one. Melbourne Cup obviously goes without saying, and then a few races scattered throughout Derby Day. So really excited for the hype around the Everest. How good. Honourable mention as well to the field placements that the Queensland Bulls had in their Sheffield Shield match against the against Tassie. I think everyone, apart from the bowler, obviously, and maybe one outfielder, was up around the bat when Queensland was bowling for victory. So shout out Swepo and Uzi Kawaja. Great field settings, mate.
Yeah, shout out to Swep. That was spun them to victory. Well done, mate. On the Everest, mate, they have, in the previous 3 years that they've had people go to the track, obviously there won't be many people there this year, but they've seen an increased amount of turnover in bedding, turnover in food and drink actually being consumed, and they actually get, I think they give them like wristbands. They get like the different demographic data off them, and younger people actually go onto the track than what would usually. So it's
awesome.
actually bringing in a next generation of punters, which is great to see. My top tier, mate, was William Pike.
Oh, yeah.
6 rides.
Funny you say that.
6 rides, 4 winners, 1 second, 1 third, 2 Group 1s.
That's a day out, isn't it?
That is unbelievable.
Look, he was my middle tier. The Wizard from the West, Billy. The only reason why he's middle because he rock and rolled RC. But great shout,
mate. Yeah, he's in cracking form. He picked up the ride of Dalasan in the Caufield Cup,
which isn't a bad shout.
Yeah, he's confident on it. So, give it strength, please. No thanks. My middle tier, mate, was Rachel King and the Godolphin Horse Choir. Now, we were at the pub. This was one of the worst incidents I've ever seen. And the horse walked away unscathed. It went through the running rail. And Rachel King walked back to the jockey's rooms and she rode out the rest of the card.
Yeah, that's one tough jockey. It looked so bad.
Yeah, I can't believe the horse survived that. No, and she didn't have any injuries.
Oh, it looked absolutely terrible.
On radio, she was like, as soon as I fell down, I just was waiting for the pain to start, but it didn't, so I wasn't hurt. I was like, Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Your bottom tier, mate.
Oh, mate, this is a sad one. And it's obviously the terrible news I'm sure everyone heard regarding Winks losing her foal during the week. She was due to give birth towards the end of the year. Yeah, terrible news. So I feel for all the connections. And, yeah, she's one of those horses that transcends racing. And, yeah, sad news to hear.
It is very sad, mate. That did get me down when I actually saw that, and it was a bit unbelievable, a bit shocking. And it's probably because you don't really hear of the champions or any horses for that matter losing a foal. But thoughts with connections. My bottom tier is the Caufield Cup barrier draw for Anthony Van Dyke. The connections paid up for this horse to come over all the way, halfway across the world, and he draws the car park.
Literally.
He draws Footscray.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's funny, the trainer, Adrian O'Brien. Sorry, it's early. Haven't had a coffee yet. He came out and said, barrier draw won't be an excuse before the barrier was drawn. I was like, oh no, signed, sealed, delivered to get the car park now. And
on the back, you know what? We'll get to it during the race when we do a deep dive of the race. But alrighty, mate, that's our Polo Recipients for the week. So let's get stuck into the Caufield card, starting with the first race of the day. It's the Grand Handicap, 1,700 metres for 3-year-olds and up, benchmark 80. I don't know about you, mate, but might just get the dartboard out, chuck up 1 to 13, and then just see what sticks.
Mate, I'm going to start us off with a bang and say this is a no betting race for me. I looked at it.
Really?
Oh, man. It was like trying to decipher the Da Vinci Code. Look, Power Scheme is a $3.60 favourite, and its form reads okay, but doesn't justify the price. As soon as you see something like that, and you see a few other things around that sort of $4 to $6 mark, automatically, you're either in a really good Group 1. This is not that. So,
no.
Yeah. I'd be pleased if you could indicate some betting form for me, mate.
Sure. There's one that I found some okay form around. So, and as I said in the preview, which will be up later on Thursday, it's hard to have a very strong opinion on this race. But the one runner who I think has the best form of any of them is the 4 Sakut. So this thing ran a length and a half behind Affair to Remember. And you can tie that form in. Running Affair to Remember ran a few lengths behind Pretty Brazen, who beat home Arcadia Queen. So Sakut has Arcadia Queen form.
And therefore Russian Camelot form.
So
and therefore Fierce Impact form.
So it
therefore Colding form.
It is you almost have to get your binoculars out to see the form reference. But
more like a microscope.
Oh my God.
A telescope.
It's that far out, but it's the best one I could find. It's my on-top selection. No chance I'm having a bet in this race.
Mate, to be completely honest with you, looking through the race, if you had a gun to my head, I would have gone Sakut as well.
Yeah. To be honest, a lot of this card for me is a watch and learn. So, which is exactly what the second race is for me as well. 1,400 metre fillies, set weights and penalties. Any firm opinion here?
Mate, I don't mind the favourite in this, number 2, Rainbeal. She's a big filly.
Is she?
Yeah, I watched her last race, and she won by about 3 or 4 lengths. Didn't look in any trouble whatsoever, and she's a big girl. Plus, she's got the Melbourne Storm silks, which I can respect. So I'm going to have her on top in this.
She's the one I found as well. When you've had 2 starts this prep and you've won by a combined 4.5 lengths over 11 and 1,200 metres, that stands out for me. Has to do a bit of work from the barrier. 1,400 metres is a bit of a query, but happy to find out.
Yeah.
The ones I also thought had a bit better form lines was number 3 Yosmite.
Yep.
Who has form around Instant Celebrity and September Run. While the 4 and Anitra, that had form around Grand Slam, who ran third in the Caufield Guineas. So they're the other dangers for mine. But I think the favourite should get the chocolates here.
Yeah. One other horse that ran second to Rainbeal last start was number 8 Scream Dream, and Scream Dream screamed home in that race. So one to keep an eye on.
Okay. Alrighty. On to the third race on the program, mate. A 1,400 metre Gothic Stakes listed race.
Yeah.
From memory, I want to say might have been like Hummer that won this last year, maybe. I honestly can't remember.
I can't remember.
No, I don't think so, because I think Hummer's a filly. Anyway, disregard what I just said, punters, but any firm opinion here?
Look, I'm going to take on the favourite, number 2, Osamu. It was beaten comfortably by Wild Ruler last start, and just didn't finish off the race in a way that was appealing at all to me. So I'm going to go with number 9, Miratoa. Won its first race by 3 lengths, and that was a 1,200 metre race, and looked to accelerate through the line with little prompting from the jockey. So I think 1,400 metres looks ideal. And what's it paying at the moment? $7.50 for the win.
Yeah,
I'll have an each way dig.
Can't talk you out of a bet there. I'm also keen to take on the favourite here. Look, Sydney form is good form, but you actually have to be going for it to be any good.
Yeah.
I think, this guy's being a colt might not be the best thing for this horse. He might be getting a little bit unfocused in the run, for lack of a better term. I've gone for the 7 Torbrek here. Think he can be a bit of he can win a bit of a prize here. So he also has form around Grand Slam. He beat at home last start.
Yeah, right.
Grand Slam just ran third in a Caufield Guineas. It's still paid up to be in a Cox Plate. There's only 27 horses in Australia that are still paid up for that. So I think that's the right form reference here. $15 can definitely find out at that price.
Fair enough, mate.
Cool. Race 4, mate. The Caufield Classic, Group 3, 3-year-olds.
Yeah, another toughie. Look, I've got number 10, Let's Karaka Deal on top. Had absolutely no luck last start in Flemington. Look, it looked like he was about to get out and explode like 3 or 4 times down the straight and just couldn't get out at all. So ended up fading away. But I think he'll find a better spot here in a smaller field. So happy to be with him. But yeah, not a massive bet race for me.
No. I landed on one that I liked a few weeks ago, number 2, Alvarado. He's getting out to his right distance now. Now, this still might be a run too early because I think he's the Derby horse for the Buston and Young stable. So he will be in the Victoria Derby. I just liked how he finished off last run behind Quay. He really got going at the last 100. Yep. He was peeled out about 6 wide, entitled to really level out on his run, but he just kept going. So I think he has a pretty good engine. If he gets a softer run in transit here, he should be going pretty close. And the one that we made a case for at a massive price really early in the podcast, Johnny Get Angry. He might be a run too soon, but I think he can also run a good race here. He's a smart horse. If he was for, say, a Chris Waller or a Danny O'Brien or the Kieran David Eustace stable, he'd always be half the price that he is because he's with Dennis Pagan, untried trainer. You're always going to get a price about this horse. So I reckon he can run into the top 4 here. Again, might be a run too early because he's going to the Victoria Derby as well. Cool. Alrighty, mate. Race 5 on the program. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, look, another dartboard, mate. Geez, we've got a lot to throw at this weekend, don't we? Mate, I like both the Godolphin things in this. Pensado, number 6, and number 5, Silhouette. I thought Silhouette last start finished really strongly in her race, and she ran sort of midfield, and that's the race that Thermosphere won. So I don't mind Silhouette at that price, but I have the number 6 Pensado on top purely because it's a leader and there looks to be not a lot of speed in this race whatsoever, and it's drawn barrier 1. So goes from 1,800 metres up to the 2,000 here. Should get an easy lead, and thinking if there's a bit of wetness around, she'll be hard to chase down. Hopefully Pikey can control the tempo up front.
Yeah, I actually found one that I'm pretty keen on. So this is actually probably my first bet on the program for mine. Number 4, Succeed Indeed. So this girl had absolutely no luck in the straight last start. All dressed up, nowhere to go. Held up at about her run. She wasn't just held up; she went backwards at the 200, and then she still finished off really, really strongly. So the step up in distance should suit her here. Zara on board.
He's in great form, isn't he?
Mate, Craig Williams are probably the most informed jockeys in Victoria, and Jamie Carr. Cannot forget Jamie. Most informed jockeys in Victoria. I think she can feature here in a pretty wide open race. Alrighty, mate. So race 6 is the Alinghi Stakes, 1,100 metres, listed race, fillies and mares. Thoughts?
Mate, happy to follow Sydney form here again with number 3, Fitzjuice. If she can find some cover here from the wide barrier and sit behind the lead, she'll be hard to beat. She's unbeaten at the distance, and she doesn't mind a bit of a wet track. So, with the rain expected, I think that suits. And she was great last start when she beat home Hilo and Master Crusader. So, happy to be with her.
Hilo came out and ran a really nice race behind a Theory. Mate, she's one of my best of the day. So
agreed.
I think she should be featuring for us. Alrighty, mate, let's take a quick break. But after that, we'll get stuck into the quaddie legs and we'll do a deep dive of the Group 1s.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back, mate. We're back. So, first leg of the quaddie doesn't get much easier. The Caufield Sprint, 1,000 metres, Group 2. Who'd you land on?
Mate, I'm happy to go with the favourite here, number 6, Alpha Oro. It was meant to race last Saturday in the Group 2 ShareAlike Stakes, and that's the race where Dirty Work got the JD. I thought Alpha Oro looked pretty good for that race, and I thought it was a genuine danger against Dirty Work, but looks to be a lot more suited here, in my opinion. Should get an easy lead from that barrier, and will be hard to run down with the bottom weight. Keen to see how number 2, Fabigino, travels. She's the only, I believe she's the only mare in the race.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Look, she's carrying a bit of weight, so if she runs well, I'll be happy to see that. But no, I think Alpha Oro will be hard to beat.
Yeah, strange race, this one. You have some Adelaide form lines come in with Garner and Shimino. You have Jungle Edge, who he goes everywhere. He races every other week. Graf, who's just yuck. Hasn't won for over 2 years. Crystal Dreamer, who pops his head up in Vainstream. It's just a really strange race for mine. I do think Alpha Oro's the danger, but he's never run in a listed race before, so this is his toughest test to date. But to be honest, this is not a Group 2 field, so he should be saluting. I think Fabigino is the danger for mine. She was a bit plain last start, and to be honest, I won't be too keen on her if it is a soft track. So if it's a soft track, I'll be off her. If it's a good track though, I'll be jumping on. The big query for mine as well is that if you look at her form profile, she has big gaps between her runs. She goes from 8 weeks up to 11 weeks between
Yeah.
her runs, and she's only 3 weeks here. That's a big query for mine, because I think she is a mare that does feel her runs. So are they reaching here? Bit of an afterthought. Don't really know. Alrighty, race 8, mate. The Moonga Stakes, Group 3.
Yeah. Well, geez, it's hard to jump off Windstorm here. Number 9.
Just keeps winning, doesn't he?
Yeah, just keeps winning. He's been kind of me the big fella the last few months. Look, I don't see this as a reason to jump off. Look, he's on the quick turnaround, and he stays at 1,400 metres. So that is a little bit of a question mark on him. The big danger for mine is number 4, Wild Planet. It was just 3 lengths off Probable in the Epsom. And we know how good Probable is, and we know how good that race was. So that's cracking form to bring into this race. So I think he's the danger, but happy to go with Windstorm. Can't jump off him now.
No, but the query he's just been up for ages.
He has. He's rock hard.
But he's on the week back up too. Like, sometimes I just don't understand what this stable does. They just do some strange things, which I'm sure is normal over in WA, but for us Eastern folk, it's strange. I think he's the most likely winner in the race, but I am on the danger in Wild Planet. I think just the Sydney form's superior. Probable form's nice. I think he can get the chockies. Alrighty, so that was race 8, wasn't it?
It was race 8, mate, yeah.
All right, well, obviously we're going to skip the Caufield Cup, and we're into the last. Doesn't get much easier here for the mares, set weights, penalties, 1,400.
Genuine get-out stakes. Yeah. Oh, look, this was tough. There's some mares in great form here. Could go through the whole card basically and justify picking each of them, but look, I'm going to stay with number 4, Felicia. Nearly beaten last start. It was heavily backed. Fiesta won that race, which
yuck.
Oh, we hated that in the pub. Look, I think it looks pretty good in this race. It should get out to a pretty comfortable lead, and Craig Williams is in great form on the back, so that sort of helped me pick it on top. But yeah, big dangers at the fast finishing number 1, 2, and 3 in that race, I think. So pretty brazen, Madame Rogue or Rouge or however you say it, and number 3, Perfect Jewel as well. So some dangers there, but I'll have Felicia on top.
Just going back through her form profile, I don't think she's been on the quick backup before, so that is a query, but some read into it, some don't. I think Madame Rouge can get the chockies here. Her 4th up run last prep was in the Stradbroke, and she ran a really close second. Second or third? Second? Yeah, second. So I think that's the right form here. Hard to knock, pretty brazen, but I think she's just getting to the end of her prep, whereas Madame Rouge, I think she has one more in her. But yeah, again, mate, tough race to have a really firm opinion on. Okay. Caufield Cup, mate.
Yeah, gee whiz.
This, I really struggle with this race each year. I don't know why. I just really struggle to pick a winner. But first run in 1879. Only been a Group 1 since 1978, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is one of the 3 classics, but it hasn't been a Group 1 for that long. It is the most lucrative turf race in the world at the distance. So richest, I think, is 5.1 million prize, which is pretty hectic. 11 of the last 20 winners have carried 54 kilos or less. So you can also flip that. 9 out of the last 20 have carried more than that too. So I don't think the weights are a massive issue. because you look at the internationals, you look at through their form, they carry weight.
Yeah, they generally do, because they usually come over in great form, and therefore they've got a decent handicap on
them. Colts and Geldings have won 18 of the last 21. So they have been, as it usually is, the males do better than the females in the staying races. Alrighty, mate. How have you dissected this? Should we go into speed maps and that sort of thing, or do you want me to run through the international runners first?
Mate, go through the internationals first, because I think that's the biggest query for a lot of punters out there, and it certainly was for mine.
Yep.
So enlighten us.
Okay, so from my calculations, there's 5 internationals in this race, which is down from what it has been in the past. So I've excluded the likes of, say, like Mirage Dancer, Mustajir, who they were internationals when they came over last year, but they've been in Australia for a preparation or two. So they're now Australian horses. So the top weight, Anthony Van Dyke, this highest rated European horse, or horse in general, to ever come over to Australia, which is pretty crazy. So he... on all ratings and times and figures, he should be winning this. He beat Stradivarius, who's considered the best stayer in Europe, over 2,400. Query on that is Stradivarius wins over 2 miles. So that isn't necessarily his best distance, but Stradivarius did start under $2 that day. I think he won the Epsom Derby as well, which is, I can't even remember the last Epsom Derby winner to come over to Australia. Number 4, Buckhurst. Best performances for this guy have been over the 2,000. And he beat home Sir Dragonair, who's Sir Dragonair's coming over. He's here for the Cox Plate, I believe.
Yeah.
So he beat home Sir Dragonair in his last 2 starts. I just think he might be suited a Cox Plate, so this might just be bit of a turnover for that. His last start behind Tiger Moth, who's one of the Melbourne Cup favourites, he was pretty plain at the distance, so I'm not necessarily keen on him at the distance, but to be fair, he was carrying 63 kilos that day.
Gee whiz.
So he gets a lot of weight relief here. Number 8, Dashing Willoughby. Genuine 2-miler, this horse. Beat home Cross Counter by 12 lengths 2 starts ago.
Holy gee whiz.
Over 3,200. You look at his form profile, he has run at the 3,200. 1, 2, 3. He's run over 3,000 or close to it 4 of his last 5 starts. So this is just too short for him. So I'm putting a line through him. Interestingly, Michael Walker has taken the ride on this horse over Prince of Arran, so because he's actually staying in Australia after this, so he's basically thinking of the future. Prince of Arran. So this is the one who's a bit of an X factor. This horse travels extremely well. Had 6 runs in Australia, and he's placed or won each one of them. So, and he's been in Melbourne Cups, Herbert Powers, Geelong Cups. So he's got the best Australian form. He's really genuine. And Michael Walker actually said during the week, because he did some track work beside him on the other horse, Dashing Willoughby, and he said this is the best he's ever looked. And he's been on him last 2 times he's come to Australia. So he's flying. And then the last one, True Self. This mare's form has just been well below the others in Europe, but she has either won or placed in her 2 runs in Australia last year. So she has handled the trip over. So, all that considered, mate, are you with the internationals or the locals?
Look, I'm sticking with local form. I guess Caufield Cup, internationals have obviously had a lot of success, but if you actually look through the history of it, it's pretty even. It's not as if you should be on an international every single time. You need to take into account local form. So, no, I'm not on an international, and Jesus, some grenades thrown in the barrier draw yesterday, with Anthony Van Dyck getting barrier 21. Anthony Van Dyke even.
Yeah, not Van Dyck.
I'm going to call him Anthony Van Dyck from now on. Yeah, look, I think he was favourite before the barrier draw, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
yep.
that's a genuine grenade. So I think barriers are going to play a pretty decent part in this race, and obviously Caufield with the first turn being at around the sort of 400 metre mark in this race. If you start out wide, you're going to have to do a whole lot of work to sort of get into a good position by that first turn. So I do think barriers will play a bit more of a part in the Caufield Cup. Well, I think they do play a bit more of a part in the Caufield Cup than normal.
400 metres is a long way though.
Yeah.
Especially in a race where on paper I can't see where the speed is. I have Finch going forward. I might have Actau going forward. Warning was going forward in the Victoria Derby last year. If it's a heavy track, mate, he can run a good race here. He's flying. Dallasan can go forward, but they're not really genuine pace setters. Where I think the top weight, he shouldn't have too many issues. Sticky barrier, but he can get across.
Yeah. If you look at those who've drawn sort of middle of the park and then inside, pretty much all of them, nearly all the horses are, sort of on pace or midfield horses. So none of them are sort of going to get really out front unless they're ridden positively, which I think might be the case for a few of them. So yeah, it was a tough race to dissect, but look, for me, there's I think Anthony Van Dyke is I think he's probably the quality in the race, but I'm going to take him on. There's 3 horses for mine that I think will have really peachy rides. So firstly, the mare who's in cracking form, number 7, Very Elegant. She's drawn barrier 11, I believe.
With scratchings from the emergencies, I think she jumps from barrier 9.
Yeah, so...
Barrier 10.
Barrier
9.
Yep. Yeah. I think I saw a stat that barrier 9's the best barrier.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
And one of them is barrier 17 as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So it's not necessarily straight through a line job when they draw out.
So yeah, VE, I think number 11, Master of Wine.
Mate, he's... So I nearly brought it up earlier, but Wayne Hawkes during the week was saying barriers just play such a massive part, as you were just saying. And he said, ideally, we'd draw barrier 7. He literally called the barrier before it came out. He said, ideally, we'd get barrier 7. If there's a bit of rain around, he's a swimmer. So now he looks the map horse.
He does.
Yeah.
The other horse that I think's drawn really well and should get a peachy ride is number 17, Toffee Tongue. So I imagine all 3 of these horses, so VE, Master of Wine and Toffee Tongue, will sit on pace from the inside lanes, and I think all 3 of them should be ridden quite positively. I think Toffee Tongue even more so, and get into a pretty good position pretty early. All 3 of them were great in the Turnbull last start. Obviously, VE probably had a tougher race than both of them and still got the chockies. Whether she's, she's got a bit of extra weight in this. And as you said before, the mare's record in this race is
bang average.
Look, she's not just any ordinary mare.
She's not.
So I have her slightly ahead of Toffee Tongue, but I'm genuinely split between those 2. I do really like Master of Wine, but I'm between VE and Toffee Tongue. Can you believe Chris Waller's never won the Caufield Cup from 20 attempts?
No.
He's never won it.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
He's finished 5th twice, one of which was Finch last year.
Jeez.
That's the best he's gone.
Wow.
I think this is his best opportunity to win it with VE, Toffee Tongue, and obviously Finch as well. Toffee Tongue's only got 51 kegs on her back, and she's drawn really nicely. So I do really like her in this at $17. She had an easier race than VE in the Turnbull and ran second. But I'm genuinely split between VE and Toffee Tongue. But I think I just have VE on top just because I love that horse. And she's no ordinary mare.
She's not. The thing about Toffee Tongue for mine, she was $71 last start. Like, if you look at her starting price, she was $31, $7.50, and then $71. Oh, yeah, she's mapped beautifully. No weight on the back, but $17 for mine just is far too short. That's rock bottom odds for mine. I've gone over this race since the barriers have come out, and look, Anthony Van Dyke, his profile suggests that he prefers better tracks than soft tracks, slightly. But the thing that you have to remember about European tracks is their softs are pretty soft. And he still has some decent form. So I think more if there's a bit of rain around it, soft 5, soft 6, I think he'll be able to handle that. If it gets worse than that, soft 7 heavy range, which I doubt, Very Elegant will start favourite easily, I think. I think the punters will really come for her. Yeah,
she loves a wet track. She's proven she can do it on the good this prep as well. I think she's in red hot form, and I'd be very annoyed with myself if I went against her and she won.
Yeah, so even though the barrier draw was my bottom tier polo, Anthony Van Dyke on top for mine. Trying not to overthink it. 400 metres to get a position. Look, Huey's on the back. He's in horrific form. But
isn't he just?
I think, he's the highest rated horse to come here. You saw Murder Glass last year come over and he brained him in a Caufield Cup. Lee Grashur did the same thing in a Cox Plate.
Cox Plate, yeah.
The top weights can handle it as well. I think, was it Dundee maybe? Dunedin, sorry. Dunedin drew out after winning the Melbourne Cup, had the top weight, and he was just far too strong in a Caufield Cup. So I think he's the on toppy for me. I nearly put Prince of Iran on top here too. Charlie Fellows was he's bullish about this horse because the prize money that they can win here is so much better in Europe, so much better than Europe. So he doesn't care if he gets a penalty if he wins this. Michael Walker said it's the best he's ever gone. He's placed every run in Australia. He'll run a big race here. Jamie Carr on the back.
She's in cracking form.
So I've got Anthony Van Dyke. I think he has a bit of a class edge. Prince of Iran might still have a little bit in the tank for the Melbourne Cup as well. And the map horse for mine is Master of Wine. But I think Very Elegant. She just has the runs on the board. So I've got her running into third. So Anthony Van Dyke, Prince of Iran, Very Elegant.
Yeah, mate. I can't say a bad word about your tips at all. I'm just going to stick with VE on top. I think Toffee Tongue will be flashing home late. I think she'll just get such a good ride. She's got Jamaica sort of form. Jamaica ran second in the Turnbull and then went on to win the Caufield Cup a few years ago, and she was really light in the weights. I've got Master of Wine running third. But I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Van Dyke featured in third as well. That's I'll have an each way on Toffee Tongue. I'll have a trifecta on with a few horses, and I'll have VE as well. So I'll have a bit of a play in this race. But if either one of us jags it, mate, I'll be a happy man.
Absolutely, it's always a tough race, and hopefully we found the winner. Alrighty, on to the Everest, mate. So,
oh jeez, I didn't forget about the Everest, but we were talking about the Caufield Cup for so long. I was like, oh shit, I'm just so keen for this race, and the Everest out of nowhere.
All right, so previous winners, mate. Redzel, yes. So Redzel, 2-time winner, one of my favourites, and yes, who, shout out Macca, found it last year. Geez, $15 million race this year, 12 horse field, all slot holders for different connections within racing. Brilliant concept. I think it's definitely bringing in young people to the game. Who'd you land on?
Man, I'm going to have G-Tra on top.
Okay.
I think, I can't go with Nature Strip. Just based on his form and obviously with the issues, he had excuses last race. Yep.
Antibiotics. So I was thinking about this from a human standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things can be applied, like to equines, humans, similar.
They're
things.
only animals, mate.
They really
so
are.
are we.
He went through antibiotics 2 weeks ago. Now, when I go through antibiotics, I'm knocked around for a bit. I think it takes me more than 2 weeks to get over it. And if I'm exercising, it takes longer.
Well, mate, here's some biology for you. Antibiotics doesn't just mean bad biotics, mate. It means good ones too. Gets rid of all of them.
Yeah.
So all that good stuff, all the good biotics in you, the probiotics even.
So who knows? It might be different for equine athletes, but I think he's a genuine query for mine. I can't have him in my top 4 selections for this race.
Fair. So G-Tra, I think there'll be so much pace in this race. I think he's just going to sit behind the leaders and pounce late. And he's flown under the radar almost because he had such a great win over Nature Strip and then he's just gone. This was always his target. And he's had an uninterrupted prep, and I think he's set up beautifully for this race. And it's a 1200 meter, which he's probably a bit better on the shorter distances, but there'll be so much pace early. I think his turn of foot at the end will get him home. Really like Libertini in this as well. I think Libertini and G-Tra will sit next to each other. I think Libertini might just be behind G-Tra from the barrier. And she showed she's got an elite turn of foot as well. Last race that she won. I've got G-Tra on top. I've got Libertini running second, and I've got NS holding on for third.
Okay. Yeah, saw it last year, mate. Red Hot Tempo, Redzel, Nature Strip, others creating that, and then yes, just got the dream run, held it in Santa Ana Lane for a run, and he was the run of the race, running into second. And Trekking ran a nice third. Nature Strip was huge, running fourth there. But I just can't see him with the interrupted preparation running that well. I'm with one of my favourites here. Number 10, Tofane on top. I've looked at this race over and over and over again, and I'm playing around 3 different horses in this race, but Tofane for mine, she was just so unlucky last start. She had so much to give. Her first up run, I'm not forgetting about that. That's the best first up run she's had in a very long time. So I'm keen for her to see what she can do here. And I think, that she's well suited in races with red hot speeds, which this will have. Trekking the danger for one. He was enormous first up, and I think the 1200 meters suits. His second up profile is massive, and then Classic Legend's been really good this preparation as well. The reason why I didn't go for Gitra, I looked at his distance, and as you said, he's better suited to the 1100. He's only won once out of 7 at the distance for mine, and he looked like the winner in the Goodwood, and Trekking was just too strong for him late, and I think might be a similar story. That's just my opinion. I can't jump into Gitra as second favourite. I think he is, but Tofane on top for me. Trekking running second, and Classic Legend running third.
Yeah, fair, mate. I actually think Classic might be favourite now. Having a look at the numbers here.
Yep.
Yeah, look, that was the danger for mine for Yitra, but I think he's had such an uninterrupted prep. They're always going for this. I think he'll be ready. I think he'll be rock hard. But yeah, it'll be such a fast race and it'll be a fast finish. So he could be, he could finish 6th or 7th, but only lose by half a length to the winner. So it's just one of those races, mate. If we can jag it, we can jag it.
Yeah, tough first leg of the quaddie. So who your trifecta?
Yeah, so I've got G-Tra on top. I've got Libertini running second, and then NS holding on for third.
Beautiful.
But yeah, could see Trekking running a good race too.
Alrighty, so let's take another quick break, and then we'll get into the Juicy Stakes. Okay, mate, Juicy Stakes. So another loss last week for Living Legends, but we're up to 95. So either way, mate, we're going to crack the century this week, which either way, mate, that's a win.
It is a win.
So last week, mate, let's do a brief recap. So roughies of the day. For mine, I had Personal running a nice second at $4. I had Lions Raw again running a nice second at $4, both paying 20s. And then I also had Gaelic Chieftain who ran into 4th, and if he only just popped his nose out for 3rd, it would have been a brilliant day. Each ways for mine, I had Prime Star running second and Keelong did nothing. And then my best of the day was Kriya Diris, and then who won, and Russian Camelot ran second. So I was around the mark last week.
You were very good last week, mate. Yeah, I had Bucharest as one of my roughies, and it ran third. Behind Lions Raw, lol.
Yeah, How Manti got scratched. Yeah, each way was in Junipal.
Yep, Junipal, which and also Positive Peace, which was also and my BB's Alligator Blood. The blood was and Russian Camelot got rock and rolled. So my Juicy Stakes were pretty terrible last week.
But earlier in the card, mate, gee whiz, you're on fire. 4 from 4. Where?
Yeah, I think I've had 5 winners at Caufield and 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, across
so it could be worse.
Across Sydney and Melbourne, I had 8 seconds last weekend. Oh,
that's Dolab form.
It really is. So hopefully
we're around the mark at the moment,
mate. Best time to be peaking. Best time. So out of the Group 1s last week as well, had 1 winner in 4 seconds. Unbelievable. So let's get stuck in, mate. Juicy Stakes. So we'll pick a roughie each way and best bet of the day. We'll put our best of the day into an all up and try and raise some money for Living Legends. But your roughie in Melbourne.
I've got Toffee Tongue in Caufield Cup.
Toffee
tongue. I'm shocking this morning. Yeah, she's $17, I reckon. Look, I would have liked to have seen her push into the sort of mid-20s, like you said. But I think $17 is still a pretty decent price.
Wait till the day, mate. You might get better.
Yeah, she might drift. Yeah, I reckon she's not a bad shout at all.
Cool. I had race 3, number 7, Torbreck, as I mentioned. So this thing has form around Grand Slam. $15 looks a silly price in a winnable race in Sydney.
In Sydney, mate. If you go to race 6, I've got Prime Candidates. I'm a fan of the horse.
Hard to catch.
It is. I've caught it a couple of times, I think. Don't know if I caught it last time. Timmy Clark on the back should get a decent lead out front. There'll be some pace early, but I'm hoping it can hold on. Bjorn Baker and Timmy Clark have got a good little thing going on.
Okay.
And at $17, I'm happy to find out if that good thing can win me some money.
$17 for a last start winner. That seems strange for mine, but this is a step up in grade for him. But
it is.
You can find out. For me, Tafane, she's $20 in the Everest. Yeah, that's a roughie by my books.
Certainly is.
Each way in Melbourne, mate.
Yeah, as mentioned previously in race 3, in Caufield, Miratoa, taking on the favourite paying $7.50 for a win and $2.30 for a place. So
Beauty.
Why not?
I've got race 5, number 4, Succeed Indeed, the one that was held up, suited over further. I think she looks a nice bet. Each way in Sydney.
I think Gitra in the Everest, $6.50 for a win, $2.30 for a place. Shout out to Libertini as well. Both good prices for an each way.
Yeah, I've gone race 8, number 11, Vanna Girl. I think this is an easier race that she finds here. She's been in pretty damn good races this prep, so her form doesn't read amazing, but she still has been running some decent time while not finishing near the winners. So I think she's better suited out to further, which she gets here. So $7 looks a nice play. Alrighty, mate. Your best of the day in Melbourne.
Hard to go past for Choose in race 6. $2.90 at the moment. So I think Sydney form there is really good, and she's my best in Melbourne.
Nothing more to add. She's my on toppy too in Sydney.
In the Kosciuszko, the favourite, It's Me, number 14. I think we get the chocolates and that. It's been running elite times, good enough for Group 1s.
Yep. Well, same. So, nothing more to add, mate. Well, that made it pretty easy this week. Cool. Yeah. In general, this is more of a watch and learn weekend for mine.
Same here, mate. I'll have a bit of a play in the 2 big races with exotics, but that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. The supporting races on the card are just making me nervous that it could be a tough day for the punters. It reminds me a lot of Melbourne Cup Day. Traditionally, very tough day for the punters.
Very tough day for the punters. Look, if we have a shocking weekend this weekend, mate, that's fine, because the grand final's only a couple of weeks away.
It is. Cox Plate next week. Can't wait. Should be a brilliant weekend, but let's try and find some winners this weekend, mate. But that's another show in the books. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Leave us a review wherever you get your pods. And we're also on YouTube as well. So until next week, punters, all the best.
Have a good one, punters.